Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be, and welcome to It's So Real.
With your boy Oso.
And your girl Rocqi.
What's good, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of the show. To our newcomers out there, welcome. We got a good one for y'all today.
Yes. And I'm also excited because today, intentionally, we are recording our full video podcast, which will be available on our YouTube channel.
Yes.
So I will create a specific playlist for our full video podcast. So make sure you check that out and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah, we decided like it's time to put the full podcast on YouTube. It will help us with our watch time, with our views overall, and I think it's really good. I think a lot of people who enjoy the audio podcast would like to see the full thing.
We animated this shit on camera. So.
Word, like,
you hear the audio, right?
Yeah, you probably hear it in our voices, but like then combine that with the fact that you can see me doing all my crazy hand gestures and whatnot.
He uses a lot. I gotta watch out because I'm about to get hurt.
What I mean? I'll be out here. But yeah, you get to see all that, and I get like closer to us because you see the audio individual. You get to experience us in a new way. So if you haven't already seen any of our clips or anything else like that, definitely check us out on YouTube where the full video will be.
And we will still have our video clips as well because we do understand that not everybody is going to watch the full video.
No, we're going to keep the bite-sized stuff for some of y'all who are like wanting to go and like, man,
I don't got time for all this.
Yeah, I just want to check in on them, you know?
See what they got to say a little bit.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah. But all right, are we ready to get into the show?
Let's do it. This is a good one. Rocqi, tell them what's today's show about?
Today's show is the challenges of polyamory. Now, of course, first and foremost, I want to give you our previous episodes about this topic. So they will be available in the description below for our YouTube watchers. So check out our previous episodes: Polyamory, A New Way of Connecting, Polyamory Part 2, A Deeper Dive, as well as Two Therapists Answer Your Relationship Questions.
Right.
Well, actually, I think we have the full YouTube video because that was a short one. So I think we have
the full video on the asking two therapists answer your questions about polyamory, relationship questions.
Yeah, that video we have.
That video is on YouTube,
and I'll probably put that in the link in the description below as well.
Right, and that's actually gotten a lot of good responses. So.
I put that in all my poly groups. Yeah. So
I'm glad that people who are watching and listening, they were receptive to it, and they actually appreciated our input and our unique thoughts, because everybody's relationship is different, and ours can be a blueprint for other people, but again, it's more about having authentic, open conversations so that you can make the best decisions for your relationship.
Exactly.
However that looks.
Exactly. And then we are therapists as well, so we also bring that perspective.
Right, which is helpful. You know, I recognize that, so... You know, we're going to put more of our thoughts and opinions out there because they're grounded and rooted in our work and our personalities and individual, values.
Yeah.
But all that schooling, we're going to put it to work to help other people.
You know?
Why not?
I will also put in the description box below a video resource playlist that I created along my polyamorous journey, and it's a lot of videos. So... understand that polyamory is a journey and you will learn and grow throughout it. So take your time going through that video. Like I put it out on one of the groups because somebody was asking for resources or to learn about polyam, and he was like, oh, that's a lot of videos. I'll watch a couple. And we were all like, you're not going to get a whole gist just from a couple of videos. Like on this playlist, I have education, whether that's discussing what the hell polyamory is. I have representation outside of a FMF triad dynamic, as well as black representation because it's very whitewashed in media right now.
Very.
So, as well as people being honest and authentic about the challenges. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this episode, is because when people, like, polyamory is starting to become more mainstream. People are having these conversations. People are understanding that monogamy is no longer the default setting. However, because of what's being represented, again, whitewashed and FMF, female, male, female, triads are being pushed in the media and no other representation is really being seen, that's what people are flocking to. Also because it's closer to monogamy, as well as, you know, we live in a patriarchal system, so that's more acceptable to a man and two women. So people are flocking to it because it's the freedom. It's like, oh, I can do what I want. But they don't understand the amount of work that comes in with embracing this. And that's why I wanted to do this episode. Because I'm like, one, you dating multiple people is one journey. You experiencing the emotions of your partner dating multiple people are an entirely different journey. Okay? Those are two separate journeys.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got to talk about it. Okay.
So let's get into it. Let's
do it. All right. So the first, we're still gonna do the two sides of the same coin. We don't have our either or segment today, but we're still gonna go back and forth as far as perspectives. So again, we're gonna flip a coin. Whoever wins answers the question first.
Which one is heads?
The 100 Costa Rican currency is going to be tails for today.
Okay. So 100 is tails.
Yes.
And whatever this is going.
Again, we international out here.
All right. You want to call it?
Tails.
Tails. Okay. Tails. You got it.
Hey.
You get to go first.
Okay. Oh shit.
Yeah. I ain't so happy now.
All right.
First question is what?
Whew. Mentally and emotionally prepare myself. Okay. But I really want to hear your perspective, though. I'm going to pass it. I want to hear yours. I don't want, I don't want you to share your perspective after hearing mine. Like, I want to hear yours first without being clouded by mine. Because, yeah. Okay.
I mean, my perspective is going to be mine regardless.
I know.
I don't think it would have been, but I'll go first. Don't mind me.
Okay.
You know, I'm down to have any conversation.
So the first question is, how is your experience in a triad dynamic, and would you be in one again?
Okay.
So first, do we need to set up what happened?
Yeah, we need to set that up and then define a couple things so that everybody's clear about what the triad looks like and what it actually is.
That's true.
And then I can answer my question.
Okay, all right. So I'll repeat the question once I do all that.
All right, cool.
All right. Okay, so a triad is a relationship with three people where they are all in relationship with each other. Now, contrary to popular belief, it's not always a couple with a bisexual, heterosexual couple with a bisexual woman coming in, okay? It's not always that case.
I thought that is common.
Even though triads are actually not the majority of polyamorous relationships, okay? Let's address that. Again, it's what the media is pushing. But that's a minority within the polyamory community. But yeah, so it's three people in relationship together. So that's 4 different relationships. That's A plus B as one relationship. That's B plus C as another relationship. That's A plus C as another relationship. And A plus B plus C as another relationship. That's 4 different relationships between 3 people. Okay? Also understand that. So that's what a triad is. And it can look all different gender identity. It is not limited to there. It can be 3 men in a triad together. It be 3 women in a triad together. A woman and 2 men in a triad together. It is not just the men and 2 women triad. Okay. I would also say a V or a hinge is something different, and that, if you ever seen the movie Savages, is what that would be. So it was the 2 men weren't in a relationship together, but they both were in a relationship with Blake Lively. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that would be a V. That's not a triad. Okay. All right. So that defined down. Okay. All right. So what was our experience? All right. So I was, actually picking up food for us. I was. So I was at the bus stop and I met a woman. She approached me.
Very beautiful woman.
Yes. She was queer. We discussed that on the bus ride back. And yeah, she just moved to Oakland. So we have been, I think I wasn't licensed yet, so my money was funny. I couldn't really hang out and stuff. So the first time I ended up hanging out with her, she came over to our house. And at first, like, her and I were just in my room, we were just talking. And I didn't know, when I'm dating or experiencing women, I don't know if it's going to be a friend, if it's going to be dating. I don't know what it's going to be, so I'm just open to what the connection looks like, right? So then I asked her if she wanted to smoke, and I asked her if it was okay if we were together at that time. My partner wanted to smoke. I think on the bus I said I was polyamorous. I can't remember, but I did bring that up early. Because yeah, this was about a year after our relationship, and we had embraced ethical non-monogamy. But yeah, so we went to outside in the backyard to smoke with Oso, and I saw them connecting really well together. Like, it was immediate, it was genuine. I saw them really connecting really well. So I was actually gonna step back, and I was like, oh, okay, you got it, you know? Like, it's cool, like,
put me in, coach.
If we do queer, you know, events and stuff together, but like, okay, that's on you. But then you were like, she's really attracted to you. And I was like, wait, what? I totally missed that, because I was aware of your connection with her. So I was like, I didn't even peep that. So then I think you hung out with her individually after that. And that's when some stuff, touching and stuff happened between you all. So I was like, okay, that connection was a valid assumption. Like, I saw it, they connected well. Yeah, well, so we thought. So, so that happened, right? And then I hung out with her individually. I went over her house. I think you went over her house individually. And after, she was over our house and we all hung out. And then I went over her house and I unknowingly had queer sex, but that's because I had a limited definition of what queer sex was. So obviously shit was good sexually and attractive to each other and all that stuff. So then we were like, oh shit, guess we're in this triad. And we were just talking about what if we found someone where it was authentic and genuine and she was like actually attracted to both of us, connecting with both of us. What if we found someone? And lo and behold, here we found someone. So we were like, oh shit, it's a triad. So I think that's all the setup I'm going to say for now. Okay. We can revisit what actually happened in the end later. Okay. All right, so repeating the question. How was your experience in a triad dynamic? Would you be in one again?
All right, so my experience was overall good. The only difficulties were time and managing that between two people who I'm interested in, because what tends to happen at least in my scenario, in the case of the triad experience that I was in, it was like, I want to spend time with one partner, but if that other partner, so I'm going to just use you because this is the example. So if I want to spend time with Rocqi, but then she is spending time with the other partner that we have in that triad, then that means I get to spend time with neither of them. So that's kind of where the thing comes into conflict with the natural flow of the accessibility to your partners when you want to connect with them, because they might be having their own separate connection within their dynamic. So the BC. Giving you an example from earlier in the podcast. So they might be doing that, and then I don't get to spend time with no one. So that was where I think the conflict kind of arose within our dynamic in the triad as we were experimenting. It's just navigating that time when you don't have access to either of the people who you're connected to romantically. So it's pretty difficult. And you kind of like, depending on how well adjusted you are to your feelings, you might feel some type of way about that. You might get jealous, all those other things. So we'll probably talk about that a little bit more.
No, you can go ahead. We're not really talking about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
I didn't bring that up, actually.
No. So for me, I wasn't one to like get jealous of of y'all spending time together. It was more like I would want to spend time with the other person, and that I just didn't have access to. So it didn't come from a place of, well, I wanted to do that too, or something else like that. It was more like I just wanted to spend time, and I just couldn't do that because the person occupying that time is also my partner. So that was the difficult part for me. But to the latter part of the question, would I do it again? I honestly would. I just think it would have to be navigated in a different way. I think that maybe scheduling would have to be in place where we understand what times we do spend time together. Because I am someone who likes their own space, so it's not that I would need like OD amount of time to spend with that person. It's more so that I would have to know when I do want to spend time with them, especially if it's something like, you know, if you listen to the podcast, you know I have a high sex drive. So if I want to have sex or connect in a physical, intimate way with one of my partners, and they are doing that on their own, it's going to be more difficult for me because I'll feel like I'm missing out. The FOMO aspect of it would come into play. So I think it's different, though. I think there's a difference between the FOMO, fear of missing out, and jealousy. I think those are two different,
yeah, I'd say so.
You know, concepts when it comes to your emotions when you're dealing with more than one person. So I don't think I ever really felt jealousy, but I did feel like, damn, I'm missing out, you know. But another reason why I would like a triad situation is because I do like the idea of three people connecting. Like I like the idea of having another partner who is connected with the partner who I'm already with you, basically. I like that idea, and overall, it's more so about accessibility. So that's really the biggest hiccup for me when it comes to triads is accessibility to each partner involved and navigating that. But other than that, I love the idea of two people who I adore or am romantically involved with also liking and adoring and appreciating each other, and then us building upon that. I think that would be great. It's just difficult navigating all that. So those are my thoughts. Like it's nothing negative really to say about it. It just takes a lot of organization. Yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
So, yes to the time being an issue. Now, mind you, we each want an individual time with this person. So for her, that means 2 days out of the week, she's spending it with someone romantically or sexually. And she ended up not having the capacity for that. And I also understand it in the aspect of like, she started dating 2 people at once. Like that's a lot. So time was definitely an issue. I think I was getting jealous over if she only had the capacity for like 1 date a week, it going to you. Cause and that was
that agreed upon?
No, but that's what ended up happening. And it was because you all had
how long it was going on.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
How long was it going on for that long for us to figure it out?
But that's what I noticed when it did get down to once a week, and it was because you all had a better connection, like overall. So I would get jealous of that. You wanted to have group conversations about all of just the intricacies. There we go. Couldn't say that word today.
Got you.
But
so
thank you,
I
baby.
get tongue-tied all the time. Don't even worry about it.
But yeah, you wanted to have group conversations that just about the dynamics. We created a group chat, and there was a couple issues with that. One, we didn't tell her in advance what we wanted to talk about. So we knew what we wanted to talk about when we have these group conversations, but she didn't until she was there. And then she is like you, and she needs more time to process and internally process. So she wasn't able to answer right then and there, but that we were making decisions right then and there anyway. And then I also felt like that was For some reason, I felt, and again, felt doesn't necessarily mean it's true, but I felt like that was impeding on my connection with her. For some reason, I don't really know why, but I know I felt that in that moment.
Wait, what was impeding?
The group conversations.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't really remember how, but I knew I felt that during. What was another thing I wanted to say? I also, that's why I didn't like being in groups with you, because you all would connect and then you wouldn't connect with me, because new relationship energy is a thing, and this is something that we have discussed.
Yes.
About like if you're with both of your partners, making sure that you're showing equal attention, affection, and stuff like that, because I did feel a lot of, it wasn't even a fear, it was like I could see it in front of me that you were not connecting with me, you were connecting more so with her. She was connecting more so with you, so then I felt like a third wheel. To the point I was like, I'm not hanging out with all of you. That's why I felt like it was impeding on my connection with her, because it was like I'm not building a connection with her when we're all together.
Gotcha.
So, and then like I didn't necessarily need us to connect, but because you were only showing attention to her and then she was showing attention to you, it was just like, why am I here? I don't have to be here. So yeah, that's what was happening. Yeah. So to that point, no, I do not want to experience a triad again. One, I don't ever want to experience that again, like feeling a third wheel when I'm in a relationship with a person. No. And again, we've talked about that. You said you're trying to learn how to, show equal attention and affection.
So, all right, let me ask you this. Do you think it's realistic to actually do that? Do you think it's possible to show equal attention to the partner who you're with while fostering a new connection? Or is it just natural, like we were talking about, where it's like new relationship energy that, like, because I'm of the thought of the latter, like, of you need a space and time to allow a new relationship to foster, to see if it's even worth, because there's every relationship, let me get into the mic, hold up. Every relationship has a honeymoon / introduction, infatuation phase.
When them hormones be
everybody know what it is at this point. We all know that's common knowledge, right, when it comes to relationships and connections. After that, I think, is when you reach a stage of whether or not this can be long-term or long-lasting when it comes to your connection and partnership. So some connections fizzle out real quick because, like, oh, well, I'm no longer attracted. And then some commitments or potential commitments fizzle out because it's like, oh, this is not the right time or place. So it's like, I think you need the space in order to work through that and navigate that before truly understanding the dynamics of a full triad. Because otherwise, yeah, you are like kind of putting your energy in between people and you're not like fully fostering the new relationship energy / honeymoon phase. And it's like, if you're robbed from that, you're kind of like, I don't know, like it's almost like dating somebody for the first time. And you have all this energy, this new relationship energy, and then it gets cut off. And then you can only do it, only see that person like once or maybe like twice out of like the month or something like that. That relationship energy, that potential relationship energy, will probably fizzle off just because of the lack of time being invested within it. So do you think there's a way to truly divide that up when you're having somebody new in that space? Because I think stability within a long-term relationship is what allows you to have the freedom to explore somebody else's connection and invest in them.
But people also aren't in long-term relationships. People are single and dating multiple people and beginning multiple relationships at the same time. There are different experiences within the polyam community. Okay. Yes, I still think it's possible.
Okay.
You just have to be intentional about it, and you have to be aware and consider the feelings of your partners. like, just because it's new relationship energy isn't an excuse to not also consider the partner you have, especially if your new relationship is impacting them. So, to that point, how would you say I handled when I was dating the first woman and she came over and we were over there and we were all together, and that was the first time you met her, I think. The first woman I dated.
That's different. Like, for me, so there's two different scenarios. One, like, that's somebody you're dating solo.
Okay, yes.
So that's already from the jump, that's totally different. And then I'm allowing you with, like, a blessing of, like, I want you to connect with that person.
Okay.
So it's not like I'm fighting for your energy because I see, like, a new relationship energy and I'm like, oh, I need that. It's like, for me, it's different. It's like, oh, a new relationship energy for you. Go. Like, you know.
But I'm saying, like, when it was all three of us.
That was only at one time.
I know, but how did you feel in that moment?
I felt like...
As far as, like, me showing attention to both of you.
Well, I think it's different. Like, my personality was, like, I'm showing attention to her because I'm trying to, like, make sure that she's comfortable with me as your partner. You see what I'm saying? That's different than...
Wait, what?
I'm trying to make sure she feels comfortable as... So she knows that I'm cool as your partner, because that's already established.
Oh, with the... Okay.
That's different than you connecting strongly with somebody that you met on the bus, and you thinking, oh, well, where can this go? And then me connecting with her naturally, and then you feeling left out. You see how, like, that's different? Like, it's just different scenarios.
I'm not talking about that. I'm specifically talking about a person showing attention to two partners while they're all together. So with the first woman I was dating, I was in the middle. You both were on the side. Yeah. How did I do as far as showing attention to both of you and affection?
I didn't even notice it. That's what I'm saying. Like, I wasn't like a thing where I even picked up on, like, you trying to...
Well, I was very intentional about it. About making sure that I wasn't solely, like, focusing on one or the other. I was trying to make sure that I, like, addressed both of you.
I didn't notice it. Because that's what I'm saying. Like, my goal was to make sure that she felt comfortable with me as well. Whereas, like, in contrast with the other woman, your goal was to connect with her, and then you're just seeing us connect. It wasn't like you were trying to, like, you weren't in that scenario being intentional, being like, well, this is him, and this is, like, you know what I mean? You weren't, like, dividing your attention up intentionally in that scenario, so it's different.
Well, yes, but it was also because neither of you was receiving it. So, like, if I would try to address you or her, y'all were focused on each other, so there wasn't, you all weren't looking at me to receive energy.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like, it's going to be different depending on the person no matter what. So, in the scenario where we're sitting on the couch with her, if this woman, I don't want to say her name.
No, it's getting complicated, y'all.
So, if this woman who you're dating naturally connects with me, it would be on her to intentionally not do that. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's on three people. If one person naturally connects with someone else more than the other, then it's on that person to try to divide that attention. It's not on the person who's connecting already on the other side to try to divide that attention, because you're just in the scenario you don't even know. Like, you don't even know what's happening. So that's what I mean. Like, if you're aware of it, it can work out where you're dividing the attention, but you have to be intentional about that from the jump.
Who should have been intentional when it was in the triad dynamic, when we were all together?
Well, that's what we were trying to figure out.
So yeah, that's my question then.
What do you mean?
Who? Yeah, you're saying
everyone has to do that if you're gonna try to be equal. Yeah. Well, and that's like literally why we were like trying to figure it out, and it didn't work out.
And then also, when I brought all this up, I'm like, hey, I don't like being with you, but I don't like being with all three of us because this is happening. they both denied that it was happening and used, well, this is new, and I was like, no, I'm clearly seeing you all have more of a connection, and it's showing up when it's all three of us. So yeah. That being said, again, triads are very rare because they're not that equal. Like, this stuff comes
back to
up.
what we were talking about before, where it's like, is it possible to foster the new relationship energy while still dividing up that stuff?
Yes.
But this is my point. It's like, I was intentional, like, so with the girl who's sitting on the couch,
Mm-hmm.
I was intentional about wanting to make a good impression, but my boundary was like, already, I want you two to connect. I was coming in as your partner who's supporting this potential relationship, versus the other girl was like, everybody's just open for whatever happens, so we're letting it be open. So that's what I mean. Like, it's totally different scenarios, which is why I don't think it's impossible, but I think you do have to allow, if there's a connection, to foster that.
So that being said, I don't want to do a triad ever again. All right. I also would say, outside of the just group dynamics, I have a lot of relationship energy to expend that Oso doesn't have the capacity to receive. So him dating the same person that I'm dating takes away from that. So like, I just need my own partner. Like, because I have a lot to give, and it shows up like, yeah, when I'm dating. Like, I talk every day throughout the day. I would prefer to have a date with them twice a week. Like, yeah. So now, what was interesting with the first woman I dated, she was dating two other women. But that was still... At that time, yeah, that we were dating. But I still, like, expended a lot of romantic energy towards her. So yeah, it's just... I don't want to have to fight for attention from you. Like, if I'm going to deal with that, I'm going to deal with that with other people I have no relationship with. You know? Like, I don't...
She want me to herself, low-key, but not really.
No, it's more so I want my other partner to myself. Like, yeah. But yeah, I also don't want to deal with that group dynamics. Because the fact that you're saying, hey, it may not be equal, and I'm saying, hey, I don't want to experience that, and I want you to be intentional, and you're saying, hey, that may not happen, it's like, nah, I'm not even putting myself in that position.
I get that.
Yeah. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, it could work for me because I
well,
don't have
then
that
you
problem.
And two other women.
That's what I'm
wouldn't
saying.
Be with me. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Like, for me, it would work because of like my personality. I don't have the same, like you were saying, the same need to just spend that much time with anyone. Much less like a romantic partner when it comes to us getting to know each other like that. But for you would need that. So you would need like the constant connection that we already have right now to maintain at the level that it is right now on top of another relationship. Versus me, I can maintain this level of relationship and contact and then add somebody in new and spend more time with them. Because even for our dynamic right now, we have a limit on how much time we spend together. Because it's intentional, because I just need space.
So that being said, leading to the next question of why do we date separately?
Okay. I think that answered it.
Right? So dating separately is a lot more common within the polyam community. Again, think about it in the context of how hard it is to find one person that you get along with, compatible, connection, all that stuff, than to find two people that not only you found two people, but now they're also connecting with each other in a way that's there's connection, there's compatibility, all that. Like, that's just a lot, okay? So
it can happen, but it's rare and it takes a lot of navigation.
Yeah. You know? So check out Trifecta Love, their YouTube channel.
Stop doing pranks.
I love them. I've been following them since I've been on my polyam journey. They just got engaged to their fiance. I'm so happy for them. So yeah, yeah, check them out. Their love seems very authentic, very genuine, all the way around, all between all of them. So that's definitely an example of it being possible.
Yeah.
But that is not the standard. Okay.
It's difficult. Like I said, and then that's for people who don't get jealous, and you know, it's a whole thing. There are a lot of emotions that come into it, time, all that.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to experience my own partner and not have to just, because that triad experience was also impacting our relationship. And it's just, I'd just rather not. Like, I'd just rather not.
Alright, let's take a pause because I gotta go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Alright, we'll be right back.
Gonna take a break. We got more juicy questions.
You know what I mean? We're gonna spice it right back on up.
Yeah.
So, peace for now.
Yeah. Okay, welcome back.
What's up, y'all? We back.
All right, so let's get started with the next question.
Do we?
You have that coin?
Yeah, of course I do.
All right, so, you want to call it first?
I'm going with heads. Tails. Every time.
All right, so the next question is, do you experience compersion when your partner dates other people? Is there anything that would keep you from feeling as compersive? So first, let me break down compersion. So compersion is... Shut up. I saw that look. Compersion is
and you can see it too. Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Compersion is a concept within polyamory, but definitely extends outside of polyamory. And it basically means joy for another's joy. So it made sense to me in the context of, like, when you see a child just having so much fun, but you're not doing anything with them, you're just witnessing their joy, and that just brings joy to your heart. That's what it is, but in a relationship context. So finding joy from your partner being able to experience other connections.
Right.
And people within the community say that's how you get through jealousy, because you do have to grow through jealousy. Jealousy is usually rooted in insecurities. And reminding yourself that you want to be happy for your partner can be a way to work through that. However, you can also be compersive and jealous at the same time. That also does exist. And you can also not necessarily feel joy, but just feel neutral. Like, I'm glad you're out, you know, making your connections and you're free to do that, but I'm not, like, jumping for joy about it. Okay. So when I first started on my polyamory journey, I definitely looked up a lot about compersion as far as how to combat the jealousy. And the way that I tried to go about feeling it was through being your friend and hearing about your connections. And that did not work for me. It only made my anxiety go up. So I realized through Evita Loca, I don't know, Sawyers.
I don't know what she's referring to.
I want to quote her right. She is a non-monogamy coach, and she's a polyam advocate. She has a Facebook page that I follow, but she does a lot of things. Like, I think she just put on an event, and she's, I think, in a short film. Like, she's been working. Evita La Vida Loca Sawyers, or La Vida Loca Sawyers is her Facebook page. So she's been very helpful for me in my polyam growth journey. And she basically normalized the fact that we don't have to feel compersion if that's not naturally coming to us. That neutrality is also okay. And that's was really helpful, because I was, like, really beating myself up, because, like, especially as a newbie, they say, like, this means, like, you're a good polyamorous person if you're feeling compersion, and it just was not coming. So I was like, am I doing this wrong? Like, you know, and then
All for you.
And don't dare mention that to a monogamous person, because then they will just take away all of your polyamorous identity. Well, I guess you're not polyamorous then. And it's like, the fuck? Just because I'm not feeling joy doesn't mean I don't like dating multiple people. You know, like again, two different fucking things. But yeah, so it was definitely a journey for me to understand that I don't naturally experience compersion. Again, in that way, in regarding to romantic relationships. Is there anything that would keep me from feeling as compersive? I don't know. I am more happy if I don't know details. Like, I can be more happy for you with your connections if I just don't know, like, specific details about that connection. Because the more I know, then my anxiety's going up. So then I'm focusing more on trying to manage my anxiety versus focusing on your happiness. So I can more so focus on your happiness when I don't know the details. So yeah.
Okay.
All right. So repeating it back, do you experience compersion when your partner dates other people? Is there anything that would keep you from feeling as compersive?
I absolutely do. When you're dating women. When you're dating men, I would absolutely not. So that would be it.
Explain more. Elaborate.
Nope. That's it. Don't be dating no man. I joke. I kid.
Did y'all see that on the video? I saw that face.
Alright, so yeah, I'm very happy when you're dating other women. It goes back to the example of the woman we was talking about on the couch, where it was like, yeah, I was trying to play the role of you good.
Sorry, my contact. I rubbed my eye.
Okay. Just checking. But yeah, I came in with the perspective of like, I want to make sure that a potential woman that you're dating understands that the man that you're with isn't on some jealousy, hateful, spiteful shit. Because there are examples of bisexual women who have partners met male partners, and when they try to, explore their actual bisexuality when it comes to the dating marketplace, they often get shamed, or the guy might feel some type of way because he's emasculated because he doesn't. I don't even fucking know, because I don't have those feelings. But
check out our last episode, How to Date a Bisexual Woman.
Yes, please do.
Link in the description below.
Because we went into depth about that, and we'll probably revisit that for sure. But yeah, maybe the guy just feels some type of way because he thinks, oh, I should be the only person that you want or desire sexually or whatever else that might be, whatever the case might be. Some insecurities might pop up. So I'm going into it wanting whoever you're dating to feel comfortable about the fact that you have a male partner and that he's actually supportive of your connection with that new person. So I am always coming from that perspective. And then also, I like seeing you finally embrace your sexuality and this part of yourself that's been kind of denied for a while.
26 years.
Yeah. So I actually do find a lot of joy in that. There's no discomfort for me. I don't have a disgust or dislike factor either. Like, I like seeing two women. I like seeing women who I'm already attracted to with another attractive woman. That's not going to be a problem for me. So, in regards to you interacting with someone of the same sex and y'all, exploring that relationship, compersion all day. Like, I got good vibes for everybody in that situation. Now, take some sip of water for this shit. When it comes to other niggas, when it comes to the fellas, I don't really know. Or maybe you have the same basic mindset that you have overall when it comes to me dating anyone. Like, I don't want to hear about it.
Well, you're also only dating women, so.
Yeah.
So.
You're also only dating women, right?
I know, but you're saying when it
Please say yes.
You said when it comes to me dating anyone, and I'm like, well, you're only dating women, so
yeah. So what the problem is?
Just like you're having issues with me dating men,
yeah, but you don't date men, right?
Oh my gosh. Continue.
Woo! All right, y'all. But yeah, as I was saying, when it comes to dating men, I think I do take the same approach. Like I'm not a person who's restrictive, and I signed up for this poly life knowing that I don't want to be the person who creates a double standard within our dynamic where it's like I can do whatever I want, see whoever I want, date whoever I want, interact with whomever I want, and then you're just like, you just have to witness that while you are restricted by my insecurities and not allowing you to do the same or similar.
And that's why polygyny is not for me.
Yeah. So those are my thoughts. I also don't want to hear about it though. Like I don't like the thought of that. I don't like any of the emotions associated with you talking to another guy. But if it's something that you want to do and it makes you happy, I'm also not a person who's going to restrict you to that. But I have warned about the effects that will have on our connection. Mm-hmm. So although I'm not saying that you can't do anything, I am saying that it will affect our connection. Just like how I'm not saying that you have to live in Oakland, you know what I mean? But if you were to, I got a new job in Atlanta, I'm going there. I'm like, I'll be like, damn, that's good for you. I can't stop you. But just know that might affect our connections to the point where things won't be the same. And it has consequences to us potentially not being together because of that. Mm-hmm. So it's like, yo, I am that person who's like, yo, live your life. Understand the consequences would come with living that mm-hmm. life. Just like how I do, mm-hmm. you know? So that's my take on it.
What did you think about the guy that I dated very briefly? It was around the time that I dated the first woman. He lived in the Bahamas.
I didn't consider that dating.
I mean, it's long distance, so, you know, there's already questions on that. But, like, I was talking to him consistently. Like, we would have video chats and stuff.
Do I see or hear about any of these things?
I think I would talk to him about him because he was polyamorous. He had 2 girlfriends already. Shout out to him, because that's capacity. Because he was talking to me and had 2 whole ass girlfriends. Woo. But
I'm not even going to say it. I wonder how those relationships are going.
I have no idea. He moved to Atlanta, so I have no idea.
But yeah,
he's a good guy though. He's a good guy. He opened my eyes a lot about polyamory, especially as a man.
I mean, I'm sure he's a great guy. I don't mean that he's worked out. No. But yeah, I didn't want to hear or like. Yeah, it wasn't the same. There was no details or nothing else like that. And then also, there's no physical part. For men, for fellas, we all know this. Like, for the most part, in general, obviously there are exceptions. But let's stop acting like this isn't the case for a lot of people. Women, when it comes to emotionality, when it comes to relationships and connection, that's what's paramount when it comes to why they might feel some type of way about another partner. When it comes to men, on the flip side, it's more physical. So if you're sleeping with, doing sexual things with another man, I'm more likely to feel some type of way than if you're talking to somebody about your emotions and other things, because those aren't necessarily, biologically speaking, the things I'm concerned about. There's no threat from a primal. We're talking just primal, not necessarily fleshed out through logic, from a primal sense of like, oh, well, this man is talking to my woman, so that's cool. But if this man is fucking my woman, then that means my seed won't get, from a biological primal sense, like, then that means my child won't be the one that actually gets born. It might be his child. That's just where that comes from. And knowing the origins of that is why I don't want to hear about those things. Because again, you can do you, but I don't want to hear about that because I know that's going to trigger that part of me that's just innate and I have no control over.
And I think, for me, I don't want to hear about any of it. Sex with you and other women. or emotions really either. I've gotten used to you showing affection in front of me, thanks to our friend and roommate. We'll see about when you have a romantic partner, because that's different. But she's helped normalize that for me. But at first, with the woman we were in a triad with, that was uncomfortable too, when you would be showing affection to her in front of me. So yeah. Challenges. Be hard in these streets.
Yeah.
Alright, next question.
Alright. You calling it? It's on you.
Heads.
Flip that one more time.
I almost hit yourself in the face.
Heads.
Dang, I'm getting it
Yeah,
today.
you killing it.
You won it last time. Alright. How transparent in communication are you? Or are we? So that's one of the things that is stressed within polyamory is open, honest, transparent communication. This does not work if there is not open, honest, transparent communication. However, you all get to decide the levels to this shit. So, the lack of details was just a recent realization for me, and that's when I expressed that to you. So we did have to revisit what our communication looked like. Before that, it was let me know when you're talking to someone, like you're building a connection with someone. Let me know when you're going out on dates, when you're staying over, when she's coming over. And then it was also like, those were like things I need to know, and I think that hasn't necessarily changed, except for let me know when you're connecting with someone. Now it's just like, just let me know when you're going out and if she's coming over, and if you're staying the night. Like, those things have changed, but I don't really need to know about her anymore, because that's details. Like, unless I'm going to meet her, like, I don't really need to know the details about her. Honestly, we'll see if she sticks around long enough for me to learn the details. That's also where we're at. But
Not everybody makes the cut.
yeah, but
tight squad out here.
Yeah, so I think that's how our transparent communication has changed. I would also say, what was I gonna say? We were just a lot more open before. Like, you would show me when you're on the dating apps and like the conversations and stuff, or show me their pictures. Like, you were just a lot more open, and I allowed you to be. We had that.
Yeah, that's the only why I did.
Yeah,
you said you was cool.
Because again, I was trying to show up in the friend role in that way. Now I can still.
I never said any of that. I already said from the jump. I don't
with
hear
men,
shit.
with men.
I don't want. Nope.
With men.
I don't even like it.
So, but I can still show up in the friend role as far as like if we're out and about and you want to approach someone, or if you're flirting with someone. It's when that connection gets deeper than that, when it's like I no longer can be in that role for you in that way.
So let me understand it. So when I'm first getting to know a woman, you're cool with knowing that, but when things get deeper, you want to know less?
It's not even
So when she gets past the stage of like talking and there's potential actual relationship.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean specifically related to we're out. This is not dating apps. Like, we're out and about. You see somebody, you're eyeing somebody down. That's cool. We can have that conversation because I'll be looking too. If we're out and you want to approach someone, or we're going to an event specifically in the friend role, so like we're not going together, we're not attached to each other. You can go on your walkabout and talk about who you met. Like, that I'm okay with. But if you got numbers, whatever happens with that number exchange, unless it ends up in a relationship, I don't need to know the details.
Okay.
But if you're using dating apps, that's an entirely different situation. Yeah, that's an entirely different situation. Because, yeah, it's just different. Like, you're more likely to establish a connection, like, quickly, you know, with consistent talking. Versus, like, I met you once, you know? Like, I'm cool with the meet and greet.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah.
Let me check the battery on this thing to make sure it's still right. It's still at 31.
Okay. All right. Well, next, going to you. How transparent in communication are you? Or are we?
I think I'm pretty transparent. I mean, I talk about everything that...
Oh, sorry. I'm an open book as far as what I got going on.
Yeah, I'm... Again, we had to navigate things because things are different. She was over here like, I want to know everything. And then when she found out about everything, she was like, I don't want to know anything. So, a little bit different.
Growth journey.
Yeah, guess who has to go through all that? Anyways, versus me, I don't want to hear shit
about men.
I don't want even... I hope it ain't happening. I hope it's not happening at all. I don't want to hear shit. But I think we're good at communication overall, especially when it comes down to, and we were just talking about this, we had a conversation about this last night, when it comes to actually interacting with partners outside of our dynamic and our relationship, when it comes to sex, when it comes to testing, when it comes to just having each other's back emotionally if something's going wrong, safety, all that stuff. I think we're really good at communicating so that at a bare minimum, we're not disrupting our connection together. Mm-hmm. I think that's the most important part. Mm-hmm. The communication should be a means to maintain or improve your connection, Mike Tyson, connection with each other. I don't think it should be, communicating for the sake of communicating. I think it is unnecessary to communicate everything if it's going to be actually detrimental to the connection that you have. Mm-hmm. So I think it should be, when you communicate something about the partner or other person that you're involved with, you should ask the question, how is this benefiting our dynamic together? You know, and that doesn't mean that you don't have any hard conversations, because a difficult conversation that might make your partner feel uncomfortable might be necessary for your connection to still maintain and grow. So, like, if you are dating a guy and it gets serious, I still need to know. Yeah. Because if not, that's gonna make it even worse. Mm-hmm. Find out later, what the fuck? Who was this nigga? You know what I mean? So that's gonna be a painful conversation. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna like that, but it might be necessary in order to get to that next step. Mm-hmm. So I think overall, our communication is pretty well. Mm-hmm. But it's switched and it's been more targeted towards what is necessary and beneficial towards our connection versus just communicating openly for the sake of saying that we do it, or for the sake of what we were saying before on the previous topic. Oh, now I have all this compersion because I'm practicing this, when it's like, that doesn't actually work for me. Mm-hmm. It's okay. So we don't need to communicate that. That's actually doing harm to our connection. Mm-hmm. So... yeah. Knowing those things, I think, is crucial to navigating that space. Yeah.
All right, next question. Let's flip it. You call it.
All right, I'm going with tails. Let's see what it is.
Yes! Finally. All right. So, all that being said, how do we feel when we meet each other's partner, and or when our partner is out on a date? So how do you feel when you meet someone I'm dating, or when I'm out on a date with that person?
All right, so how do I feel when you meet, and I'm going to go with all women for this example, because you already know from what I said last time how I would react if it was a dude. I wouldn't like it.
How would you react? I think there would be less meetings.
That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't meet. Yeah. I wouldn't want to meet. Yeah. So if there was a meeting, I wouldn't like it. Yeah. So yes, when it comes to women, I'm happy for you. That compersion comes out. Like, I'm happy for you when you're going out on a date, when you're finally meeting somebody, or when I'm meeting that person that you're dating more seriously, or if it's casual or whatever it might be. I'm still happy for you because I think you're experiencing parts of yourself that you never have, which I've always wanted you to do. And kind of like we were saying with the example of the woman on the couch, I go into it wanting to make sure that she feels safe as well with me being your partner. Because, there might be a history of her dating somebody who also had another partner, a guy, and then him wilding out on her like, you trying to take my girl or whatever. I don't know what it is. But having both of y'all feel safe, both of those women who are involved in that situation feel safe is good for me. So I go into it with positivity and hoping for the best. And there's also a glimmer of safety concerns, and I think we talked about that on the last episode.
How to date a bisexual woman.
Date a bisexual woman. So other than safety concerns and making sure that she's not a toxic individual that could potentially traumatize you, which will have a trickle down effect on me because I'm gonna have to pick up the pieces and shit. Obviously, it's gonna be me. She gonna be gone. Her toxic ass. But other than that, I'm all in good spirits when it comes to that stuff. So, ain't no skin over my back. That shit cool. What about you though?
All right, so let me just say again, take a listen to We Took a Break to Fall in Love, where we talk about how we began our relationship and we break down how we were exposed to polyamory and embraced that individually prior to beginning our relationship. So I was insecure in the stability of our relationship when we first made our commitment, and that's more so because we already had a situationship for 2 years. So you committing to me, I didn't trust. And then also, I have history of relationship injuries, of my relationships never lasting past a year. So I was very insecure about you being with me. Okay. So that. And again, jealousy usually is based in insecurity. So there was that part. I also was still, like, 2018 was when I was exposed to polyamory. Like, sure, I did a deep dive on what polyamory is about, and that's how I connected to it. But as far as the work that it takes, I was a baby. So you've seen me grown up. I'm 3 years old now in this polyam game, and you dealt with my baby, my infancy. So
big ass baby, whining like a muffin.
So there was still a lot of deprogramming of monogamy conditioning that I had to go through. So that being said, the scarcity mentality around love and relationships, I was battling that. So if I'm meeting a partner, if he's out on a date, it's comparing, it's thinking he's going to leave me for her, and it was a lot of the scarcity mentality, and I had to change my perspective and think more in abundance and be more secure in your commitment to me to navigate that. And I used to fear a lot of abandonment because of that scarcity mentality. So like, it was, another woman was still a threat to me, as that is seen in monogamy. And what was interesting, when I met, I think it was prior to us being in a relationship, a little bit prior, but it was the same year, 2018, the woman you had dated. When I met her, it was like the complexity of that, all that, those emotions, and also I can't make her feel like I'm a jealous partner, because then that may impact.
You might be.
Right? Because that may impact her connection with him.
Knew automatically. She knew it.
I don't know how. I was trying so hard. I said hi. We talked about my mask on the wall, and that was it. That was all we talked about.
Looking her up and down.
I was very nervous when I first met her. I was very nervous. I haven't met anybody else except the person that we dated together. That you've experienced. So
on a dry spell, y'all. Ladies, hit me up.
But you also don't always want me to meet them. So there's that too.
Well, I think we've gone over why.
Have we?
What are you talking about right now?
Well, I mean, this was my infancy. So I had to remind myself that he chose me, that I was safe. So now I'm time is going on. So I'm getting out of the scarcity mentality, right? But now I have a lot of anxiety. So I described it as like the first day of school. Like, it's just,
keep going.
You going to the bathroom? So I'm like, don't cut this part. But I'm like, what is going on as far as like their connection. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Like, what's happening? I'm excited to hear about it. Like, that's the process that I was going through. And obviously that changed when I realized learning that information didn't make me feel more compersive. But I forgot my point. He really distracted me when he got up. Yeah, it's I've changed my way of thinking a lot in these 3 years. And now when he's on a date, like, I just hope he's having a good time. Again, I know that he's out. I don't necessarily know what he's doing. I may be aware of who he's with, maybe not. But I have done a lot of work at managing my anxiety. So I have a lot of tools and strategies and stuff. So at some points I may distract myself. So I may go out on a date for myself or with another person. I may clean. I may do some exercise, channel that nervous energy. Yeah, it's, trying to occupy myself with something. But I also have times where I allow myself to feel my emotions, and I have my feeling strategies. So I process, I journal. I have support within the community if I'm having questions or if I need to talk through something. So I have a lot of tools, resources, and strategies for how to manage when he's on a date. And as far as meeting someone he's dating, yeah, like now I'm no longer in the scarcity mentality and I'm more secure in our relationship. It's more like, if I'm meeting her, how would she be? Because I think another thing to understand is, like, some women are monogamous and they want their partner to be monogamous, and they're trying to steal, quote unquote, him from another woman. So, being aware of that. Yeah, being aware of that. Also, like, if we just don't get along, there's also that option. So, like, we haven't been in a situation where I'm going to meet someone he's dating. I would prefer meeting them if she's going to be in my home, because my home is my safe place. And if I have to worry about this interaction, that just makes it uncomfortable for me. And I would rather meet in neutral territory where it can be a short hi and bye type of thing, just generally getting to know who you are as a person. But we've also discussed, like, if someone is coming over, she goes through the back door, because my room is by the front. You checking to make sure I'm not in the kitchen or in the bathroom before she comes out of your room, stuff like that. And we haven't gotten to a place where you're, like, chilling in the living room with whoever you're dating.
One day, hopefully, because, like, I don't know if I talked about it before, but, like, I'm not really into doing anything casual. Very much, I don't know time. Like, if this isn't gonna be, like, an actual relationship, committed relationship with another partner, another woman, then I'm probably not going to engage in it at all, because I'm not really pressed to have sex right now with somebody else. I would rather handle that myself, or have a connection with you. So, like, the high sex drive has been tamed by the fact that it just takes too much energy. Like, honestly, I'm gonna just say this. Not every woman deserves to have sex with me. And I feel that when I have sex with a woman who doesn't. So it's like, I don't feel good giving you something that you don't necessarily deserve. And that's from my perspective. I get to decide who deserves to connect with me. Get this dick. For real. I'm over here trying to be all polite. Right. Get this dick. You know what I mean? Like, I already know what I got, what I'm packing with, what I do, how I execute. You know what I mean? Not only do I got the what is it, the ocean, the motion in the ocean,
the motion in the ocean,
but I also got the motherfucking boat. You know what I mean? So we doing both.
You focus on the pleasuring of her.
And I like pleasing the woman. So again, if I don't feel like the woman deserves me going all in and pleasing her, I don't want to do it. Because I'm like half-assed really having the sexual experience that I want. I want to feel like, oh, you deserve as much pleasure as possible, and I'm trying to give you as much pleasure as possible when we're having that experience. So, yeah, unless it's somebody who really deserves it, and I feel like is, and then this goes for anything. I don't care how bad you are, your personality. If you're not the vibe, we not vibing, we not fucking. Pretty much. I don't care how fine you are. Amara La Negra, Halle Berry, all of them. Even Mendez might be.
So, before we move on to the next question, I do want to say that meeting Oso's partners is going to be an ongoing journey for me, just because I haven't had that much experience. So there is a lot of resources on meeting your metamors. Metamor is a term for your partner's partner in polyamory. And then, like, when you're actually in a committed relationship with someone, that's going to be another thing. If you all want to live together, that's going to be another thing. Her co-parenting with our children is going to be another thing. So there's levels to this journey. Yeah. And we have no idea where it's going to go. So, you'll probably stay tuned, subscribe to It's a Real Podcast. You get to see all of it. So...
Because we're gonna, obviously we're not gonna say names like how we did in this episode, and we probably gonna have to figure out like fake names.
Yeah, we're gonna
because that just makes it a little bit easier.
You know, to follow through.
Because we over here talking about it, and it's like a little abstract. It's a little hard to really get the concept. So we'll come up with fake names for next time. But yeah, this is the journey, y'all. Thank you for joining us so far.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So our last question. All right. So, in talking about how we will grow, I'm interested in how we've grown in polyamory.
Heads. Boom.
Cool. So, how have you grown within polyamory in these last 3 years?
I think it's just, I can handle my emotions better. I know, like, how to navigate things. When we were talking about what do I do when you're on a date or something else like that, I always have go-to things that I can do that fill me up. That
you didn't answer.
I'm answering now. So.
Okay, go ahead.
Things that fill me up that are outside of her or anyone. I have my own thing. Like, I am a complete whole ass person outside of any relationship that I'm in. So I don't have to necessarily rely on those relationships to feed me. And when I don't have access to those people, I go inward, and I find within myself what would bring me joy. And I extend that outward, which is why I think I attract most of the time good people and people with good vibrations, because I've done internal work and my internal light shines out. So it attracts other people of like mind and like light. Interesting. Didn't think I would say that. But y'all get the gist of what I mean. So I think it's just grown me overall, allowed me to respect different connections, different orientations when it comes to everything, not just sex. Different dynamics. It's just opened me up to the idea of constructing the life and relationships that you want. I was already on that kick, but I think it really solidified that and made it true. So I look at this in other aspects. I look at it in terms of business when it comes to what I want to do. Like, there are no rules. I get to structure that as well. So it's deconstructed the idea that these structures that were in place have to be passed down or that they have to be followed to a T. It's allowed me to embrace the manifestation and creation of the reality that I want rather than accepting the reality of what is.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you. Like, when I started questioning relationships, like, relationships are something that every human being on this earth has.
Whether they're positive, negative, or
or whether you have one or you don't, you not having one is still a relationship.
Still a relationship.
You know, so and it's, we're not just talking romantic either. We're talking all relationships.
Oh.
So every human being on this earth has relationships with other human beings. So when I started questioning that, the entire box that we've been living in, that we've been programmed with, that we've been passing down, just exploded. And I was like, there are literally no rules to life.
You get to do this own
we
thing.
get to decide exactly how we want to live, down to our relationships.
And for some people that's scary because like they like uniform things and they don't have to think too much. But
or a map. You know?
Yeah, you know, like if you already have the map and the blueprint towards what you say you want or you were told you should want, it's easy because you don't have to do the hard work of thinking and questioning those very concepts and constructs that were here before you. But I think the revolutionary and evolutionary way that human beings get to where we need to is by maybe taking bits and pieces of models, but by being brave enough to create
start
your
a
own.
new path.
Yeah. So that's what we on right now. We'll see what happens.
I would also say that, mind you, this was my first long-term relationship, as well as my first healthy relationship, as well as first polyamorous relationship.
Oh, Lord.
So I was learning a lot, and one of the biggest lessons I learned was the death of my ego and selflessness. That wasn't something that was taught to me, so I had to learn it painstakingly.
Painstakingly for me?
Yeah. And it was definitely helpful. It definitely allowed me to see and just, you know, consider you and your emotions and how I'm impacting you and things like that. And that was definitely something that needed to happen. But because of polyamory, like, I had no choice but to grow in that area. Like, I feel like the emotional growth within monogamy is stunted for a lot of people. But like polyamory, there's just too many emotions. Like, you're gonna face them at some point in time, whether you like it or not. And that's how mine was coming out, just pop, pop, pop. And so I learned to manage my emotions. That was when I really started getting my feeling strategies together. I understood that I had anxiety, started using CBD oil. Like, it's been a fucking journey. Let me just say that. And then, yeah, changing my mentality towards abundance, deprogramming of monogamy conditioning and toxic monogamy. So yeah, it's definitely been a growing journey. I'm excited to see how I continue to grow on this polyamorous journey within myself as well as within our relationship. And yeah, time will tell.
Yeah. That's all I got on this.
That is all for today. Whew, this was a good one.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
Hey, I forgot to mention, let me plug myself real quick before we end this and wrap this up. Everybody out there who has any type of anxiety or just likes to listen to calming music or trance-like music, I put out a track, an instrumental called Peace to You. Peace to You. It's on all streaming platforms. Look that up. Peace to You. It's by Oso Smart. That's OSOSMARTT. Don't forget them 2 T's at the end of that thing. And listen to it. Relax. Close your eyes. Do some meditation. Peace to You. I've been listening to it all week. People have given me good responses on it. I'm doing more music like this where it's going to help people with just anxiety or just put them in a good mood, you know? Not even necessarily like meditation music per se, but just good vibration music. No lyrics, no nothing. So you don't got to worry about cursing and none of that. Just good vibration. So check that out. Peace to You by Oso Smart. OSOSMARTT. I always got to make sure I spell my own thing right. Mental health for artists, mental health for everybody, mental health music, baby. That's what we doing. I appreciate y'all for listening. Yeah, check me out.
So thank you so much for listening to It's So Real with your girl, Rocqi.
And your boy, Oso.
You have a beautiful day. Take care of you.
All right. Peace.
And love.
Always. Catch you on the next one. Beautiful people. We out.
Hey, It's So Real family. It's your girl, Rocqi.
And your boy, Oso.
And thanks for being here. here. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell.
Right, because subscribing and hitting that notification bell does two very important things. One, it gives you notification on our new content and make sure that you're up to date on everything that we put out every week.
Every week.
You know, every week.
Every week.
And then number two, it helps your boy and your girl out with some money. You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it honest.
It's so real, baby.
But in all seriousness, this is just like the video portion, the YouTube portion of our content. We are It's So Real podcast. So we have all these episodes just waiting for y'all on how many platforms?
11 different streaming platforms.
11.
So it's up to you to choose.
Yeah, there's no excuses. We on everything. So whatever platform you're most comfortable listening to stuff, your content on, we're right there for you. So look us up. It's So Real podcast.
And our link tree is available on our YouTube channel. Go over there, find the platform that works best for you, subscribe to our podcast, and hear the full thing. Because we have a lot more to say than what shows up on our YouTube channel.
Exactly. With that being said, check out the rest of our videos while you're here.
You know? And be sure to subscribe.
Alright, y'all. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
And love.
Always.